why medical marijuana should be legalized in the Philippines. Now, before we start, a question is always asked, what is marijuana? Marijuana, also known as cannabis among other names, is a psychoactive drug from the cannabis plant, native to Central Asia and the Indian subcontinent. The cannabis plant has been used as a drug for both recreational and entheogenic purposes, and in various traditional medications for centuries. Medical marijuana can be used to better education, improve healthcare, develop the justice system, help the poor, pay off the country's debt, and fortify unfunded government programs. And remember that besides sales tax, several other revenues can also be generated when marijuana is legalized. There are some benefits of when or if medical marijuana will be legalized here in the Philippines. Benefits of cannabis for mental health includes the treatment of depression and anxiety. Anxiety disorders are increasing at a high rate among people nowadays. The common reasons include a huge workload, relationship problems, and tight schedules. All of these combined cause the onset of ailments like sexual dysfunction, insomnia, and headaches. Cannabis has the ability to induce the release of endorphins. They make you feel better about yourself. With its regular use, you can drive the problem of depression away gradually. A study also suggests the same and highlights the ability of cannabis to sharpen cognitive abilities. Thus, cannabis acts as a therapeutic medicine in the treatment and helps in clearing your mind to regain your mental health. Cannabis also prevents seizures. Cannabis is known to improve the health of the brain by invigorating the electrical activity it has on the anti-seizure effects that facilitate the patients in dealing with epilepsy. Those suffering from the Dravet syndrome can also benefit from the regular use of cannabis. A study was conducted on the patients of Lennox-Gastaut syndrome to check the efficiency of cannabis in curing seizures. The results that came out were favorable, and the doctors have thus begun to garner more information on it. Cannabis also treats schizophrenia. Schizophrenia is also characterized by the impairment of the brain function to the extent of the patients that lose some sense of reality. Some of these symptoms caused by illusions, hallucinations, and speech problems. While the research is ongoing, it has been found that cannabis has antipsychotic effects on the brain. It helps in the ability of the nervous system to connect all the neurons and transmit appropriate messages to the body parts. Thus, a study concluded that cannabis can play a vital role in the treatment of schizophrenia. Impact on tax revenue. Better than expected, sales of marijuana in Colorado and Washington over the past several years have resulted in buoyant tax revenues. In 2019, Colorado collected more than $302 million in taxes and fees on medical and recreational marijuana. Sales in the state totaled over 1.7 billion. Sales in the US were 12.2 billion in 2019 and projected to increase over 31.1 billion by 2024. Research supports this view as well. A report from Colorado State University, Pueblo Institute of Cannabis Research, recently found that the legal cannabis industry has contributed more than 80.8 million to the local economy in 2017, primarily to taxes and other fees. Should marijuana become legal on a federal level, the benefits to the economy would be exceptional. A report from cannabis analytics company New Frontier suggests that federally legal marijuana could generate an additional 105.6 billion in aggregate federal tax by 2025. Income and jobs. Setting up marijuana nurseries and dispensaries would be the first step for the states that voted in favor of medical marijuana. These would not only create jobs but set the ball rolling for economic activity in the pot industry. In these areas, in the case of states like California and Nevada, where such infrastructure already exists, the economic impact has become more quantifiable as the sector has matured. An RCG Economics and Marijuana Policy Group on Nevada says that um, legalizing recreational marijuana in the state could support 41,000 jobs till 2024 and generate over 1.7 billion in labor income. ICF study estimates that at least 181,000 additional direct, indirect, and induced jobs in California as a result of legalized marijuana sales. It has also increased in total labor income by at least 3.5 billion. Investment opportunities could also be induced by the legalization of medical marijuana. Legal marijuana presents the possibility of tremendous benefits to economies on a local and national scale. It could also help secure the investment portfolios of investors across the country and further afield as well. While marijuana remains illegal on the federal level, it is difficult for investors to capitalize on the growth of the industry. The number of marijuana related companies trading on public stock exchanges in minuscule, and while investors do have the opinion or option of working with the over-the-counter exchanges, many of the most successful businesses in the early cannabis space has been based in Canada or other countries. Should marijuana become legal on the national level, marijuana companies would be free to list their stocks on all US exchanges, thereby enhancing liquidity and opening up access to many more investors should the growth rates for the cannabis space continue as they have in recent years. It's likely that investors would express keen interest in the industry. Save money. When considering the economic benefits of legal marijuana, it is important to think of the money that might be saved as well as revenue that could be generated through such a process. Like the currently used federal marijuana enforcement cost several $billions per year. A 2013 report by the American Civil Liberties Union found that the cost at the time were approximately 3.6 billion per year. The more states that legalize cannabis, the lower the cost of the enforcement would likely be if marijuana were to be legalized on a national level. These costs would likely drop considerably if marijuana were removed from the list of being controlled substances. Far fewer court cases involving the substance would go to trial, resulting in fewer incarcerations and in turn more money saved. Legalized marijuana also stands to benefit consumers of cannabis-based products as marijuana becomes legal in more and more parts of the country. It's likely that the price will drop overall as a result of uh, commoditization. This may not immediately seem like good news, or for marijuana companies looking to maximize profits for overall tax revenue. However, individuals utilizing marijuana-based products for medical treatment would stand to benefit considerably from lower prices of these items.